We expect everybody to be available tomorrow except for Chet, obviously. Everybody else should be good to go.
When you have a final day like this before the season starts, what does that entail? What makes it punchy?
Quick. We were in and out today, but we were contact. Guys worked. I was probably 45 minutes on the court, but full speed, full contact, just to make sure our rhythm's down, and they did a good job.
There was, probably a lot of conversation about, how will Minnesota play with Gobert and Towns next to each other. What have you seen in the preseason?
I haven't watched them minute for minute. I've seen them, obviously, and we've done deeper prep on the assistant coaching staff. But, it's early. It's the first of 82 games. It's a new team for them. Everybody, is excited for the start of the season, but it's the start of a very long season. And so just like us, I think they're probably going to be more focused on establishing a baseline and learning their team. I think that's probably a 1 through 30 thing at this point in the season.
What's the feeling of just like preparedness, especially for those rookies going into their first regular season games? What are you sensing from them?
You're never quite ready. You could try to get them as ready as possible, and then all of a sudden you walk in there and there's 20,000 people and the place is buzzing. So, we'll see how they respond. It's a good opportunity for us to learn not only them but our team, this year's team, and it's a good environment. It's a good opponent. We're really excited.
What's the excitement level for the game starting the season?
It's first day of school, so everybody's excited. Minnesota's excited. All 30 teams are excited. Our guys are juiced. But I do think we've had a great summer and we've had a really good camp, so they have every reason to be excited.
You have your outfit laid out for tomorrow?
Wilson Taylor texted it to us, and I've never decided an outfit since we got rid of the suits. And I didn't decide an outfit before that. My wife did it.
Mark, in the preseason, you all experimented with a smaller lineup. You experimented with a bigger lineup. Just given how unique Minnesota is it good that you've got that experience under your belt that maybe you feel like you can go a couple different directions depending on matchups?
Yeah, not only for Minnesota but for the whole season, we want to be a team that can go multiple different directions. I think the versatility of our team allows us to do that, and it's our job to figure out how to deploy that at different times in the season and at different times of the game. And we're not done looking at stuff. We looked at a lot in the preseason, but Shea didn't play a game, so we've got a lot more to look at. And it's the start of the season. It's not an end point by any stretch of the imagination.
Are there any differences in approach that you've taken since you first started, like to start the season?
Since I first started, well, the team's different, and the continuity of this particular team is different. So. The cumulative effect of this team being together for 2+ years, and the core of the team kind of growing together, certainly gives us some advantages as we continue to move forward. Continuity has great power, and so I think that's been the root of the biggest changes we've made is just the familiarity to the concepts, to the system, to the way of doing things. We've got the snowball kind of rolling down the hill a little bit in some of those areas, and so. The biggest change for me has just been allowing that to happen and not overcoaching that part.
Given that Shea was out for most of camp and didn't play in the preseason, obviously he knows what you guys are doing around here, but just meshing with some of his new teammates, what are you expecting to sort of see from him?
Well, that's why I said, it's the first game. It's not an end point. It's a starting point. And I think there's a tendency for everybody, including players, coaches, you guys, to overreact to early season games, decisions, and then in January, no one's paying attention. It's like tomorrow's the start of the season. It's not the end. So everything you see tomorrow, whether it's good, bad, ugly, is just our starting point, and we're going to evaluate it as such.
Will anybody be on a minutes restriction or anything?
No. Other than just we're not going to overplay people. We have 82 games coming up.
Can you tell us who's starting tomorrow?
No, I'm not doing starters really as a practice now. And the fluidity of the roster, to Nick's point, is the reason for that. It's a competitive advantage, and we're going to move things around, and we're going to keep our team ready and on their toes, and we're going to keep our opponents on their toes.
They have a Minnesota team has a big center like Rudy and Cat. Are you gonna change the approach? Like you have a center, Park and base before, or Jerry? You're gonna change anything?
Yeah, they're big on the front line, and their whole lineup's big. They have great positional size at every spot, and so you've got to figure out how to offset that. If you want to compete against a team like them, and so we have a plan against every team. We have our base, which is if we're physical, that should take care of some of it. But yeah, we have a plan for Towns and Gobert and Edwards. I mean, those guys are really good players, and we'll be prepared for them.